Hi, my name is Matthew Scott from SHS International, and this is part of a series of videos for cooking for a low protein diet. Okay, now for this we're going to need the zest of half a lemon, 50 grams of grated parsnips, 25 grams of crushed low protein herb crackers. Now I did this by just putting them into a freezer bag, bashing them up with a rolling pin. Some dried herbs, salt and pepper to taste, some olive oil, and most importantly, 2 large tomatoes. Now, the first thing we need to do is take the top off the tomato, so just one quick cut, making sure that you go below the stalk, like so. Put that to the side. Now, we need to take the inside of the tomato out. So you take a small, sharp knife and very, very carefully go round the inside of the tomato, like so. This is just separating it from the side of the tomato itself. And you have to be really careful you don't go through the bottom of the tomato, because if you do, when you start cooking, it will all seep out. So, round you go. Once you've finished, take a spoon, in at the side, and start working it. You have to get underneath the stalk because that is where it will stick. But with a bit of patience, it should just come out like so. You've got your clean tomato. Now what you do with the actual inside of the tomato is take out the pulp. What you're going to do is get rid of the seeds, keep the pulp and the juice. Now I've already cut the top of the inside out because that's the hard stalk. You're not going to be able to do anything with that. So what you're left with is that I put into the bowl here. So take that out. Again, carefully just chop it up. Into quite small pieces, not tiny pieces, because it is a filling after all. So there we go, quite rough, large pieces. Back into the bowl, the rest of the juice, and that's ready to go. Okay, now once the tomatoes are ready, you're ready to start making the rest of the insides. Now, what you want to do is get your pan nice and hot, tablespoon of olive oil. Now this is a really simple dish, really quick, nice and easy, good as a snack, good as a starter. Just make sure your pan's hot. You want the parsnips to go a bit crispy in the pan. So once your oil is nice and hot, just add the parsnips. Like so. Okay. Just a little mix around in the pan so they're not all on top of each other. Again, this helps get the parsnips cooked nice and thoroughly. Now all we're going to do is just cover this, turn it down a little bit, and leave it for roughly 4 minutes. Okay, now this has been cooking for about 4 minutes. As you can see, the parsnips have started to colour quite nicely. Now all we're going to do is add the rest, pretty much, of everything. So we're going to start by adding the tomato pulp. Now I've taken the juice out because we're going to use that later. Just the tomato pulp. Good pinch of dried herbs. The crushed low protein mixed herb cracker. Start to mix that up. Now it is looking dry, but what I've done is I've kept the tomato juice to the side, and that's going to be added in a moment. I'm going to just get that bonding with each other and add the lemon just for a bit of taste. Going to keep some aside, you'll see what for at the end. So in that goes a bit of pepper, bit of salt, and then just let that cook on a fairly low heat, don't want it too high, 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, now this only needs to cook for about 2 minutes tops, just to bring everything together a little bit. Once it looks like it's starting to come together, just take it off the heat. And now the fun part, actually filling the tomato. Right, now I'm going to use a tablespoon for this because I think it's a bit easier. So what we do is take the tomato that we've already emptied out, bring it over to the pan, just start to fill it. Now at this point, if you're cooking this at home, you'll be able to smell all of these herbs and the lemon zest, and it is really, really nice. And like I say, a really simple dish to do. Anyone can do this really. The only real care you need to take is when you're hollowing out the tomato at the start. So in it goes, packing it down. Like so. Shouldn't really be any left over if you've followed the ingredient list. Just make sure that your tomatoes are really, really packed tightly. That should do. There they are. Now, one more stage before they go in the oven. Take more of your crushed herb crackers, sprinkle over the top, now you'll probably have some crackers left over, but don't worry about that. There we go. Tomato juice that we separated from the tomatoes. Now this is just to give it a little bit of liquid to cook with. That goes on top of the crackers. And finally, before it goes in the oven, just a little sprinkle of the lemon zest that we used earlier and that we kept aside. And there you go, job done, ready to go in the oven. We're just going to put these into a preheated oven, gas mark 6 or 200 degrees Celsius on an electric oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Now this is a fan assisted oven, so I'm actually going to put this in for 15 minutes on 180 degrees. There you go, and just leave that for about 15 minutes. Right, now they've been in for 15 minutes, so let's see how they look. And there you go, ready to eat. Lovely.